Kanye West has always been someone who is known to freely speak his mind no matter what anyone thinks, or how many people might disagree with his opinions.
The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
How, Sway? Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man.
It was a Jewish doctor.
You said the album was coming out on Saturday. It didn't come out.
Didn't Sway end up being right about that rant? I need to watch that rant again, but didn't Sway ultimately end up being right?
What happened?
I didn't finish it.
He has long been known for being someone who relishes in stirring the pot and creating controversy. And for a long time it seemed like no matter what he did or said, it did not matter because he was winning on such a massive scale.
Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
Many consider him to be one of the most innovative artists of all time, and he has fearlessly pushed the envelope and shaped the sounds of several generations of music with his keen ability to create. And that's not to even mention his billionaire status that he achieved mostly through his clothing creations, and of course the Yeezy brand in general with the shoes. Because even in the midst of all the smoke and mirrors, Kanye always showed himself to be a visionary and an amazing businessman who simply would not take no for an answer. But over the last couple of years, it's growing more and more apparent that Kanye seems to have overextended his welcome, both in the entertainment and major business industry. He has gone through a lot personally with his divorce from Kim Kardashian. Obviously, he had the whole debacle with Adidas cutting him off due to his Twitter rants. I'm
sorry, bro, but I ain't gonna lie. If I'm an entertainer specifically, I understand there gets to a point where you do get obsessed with the money and the power. And you feel like you're unstoppable, so you're gonna keep going until you're stopped, bro. And this is why I say, bro, once I reach a certain level of money, I'm off the grid. I'm off the grid. Like, if I ever get to that level of fuck you money, bro, nah, man. Cause the shit that's involved once you get to like this level of fame, this level of power, it 9 times out of 10 I feel like it never ends up good, either for you or for the people that you're working with, working for, like all these different things, bro. So nah, man.
He's in massive debt. They froze his bank account. He was coming out every other week saying some outlandish stuff. And recently it's really felt like the first time in history that Kanye is losing impact.
A Boston shirt. Is Jamari from Boston?
From literally every standpoint that matters to him, whether that be in business or in music or merely his public perception. And that's not to even mention his very fast marriage to Bianca Censori, who he constantly has parading around with no clothes on. Like, I'm talking about completely see-through, like it looks like they wrapped her naked body up with some saran wrap. Like, recently I saw this video where Kanye is out at dinner with a ton of people, and his girl is sitting there just straight up topless. And everyone is sitting around acting like it's completely normal. Like, hey, dude with the shades in the corner, you're not fooling anyone. We know it's a cool 69 in that room and you were making eye contact with those biddies. Now recently Kanye released his newest album, Vultures 2, and it was met with a lot of criticism, with a lot of Kanye's lifelong fans wondering what the hell was going on. Because while Kanye might have been wild and doing whatever he wanted, one thing that always stayed consistent was that he was going to make some good sounding music for his fans. And it really did feel like that was something that was never gonna change. I mean, don't get me wrong, he wasn't making Graduation or even The Life of Pablo, but he was still capable of releasing a good project. Amongst many criticisms for this album,
did y'all like Donda? I remember that shit dropped the same week as COB did, bro. I like Donda. Donda was cool. It wasn't Graduation or anything like that, but I fuck with Donda. I wouldn't say fire, but it has some good tracks. Outside of that, Jesus is King. If that's your style of music, I guess that's good music for that style. But that's just not what I go to Kanye for, me personally. Vultures. Didn't he release Donda 2 on the fucking machine that he sold? I I'd never. Was that album good, chat? Was that album good?
People mainly complained about the lack of straight-up sound quality on this record.
Ye was in the studio working on the album and accidentally hit submit.
This sounds like something they would release a year after his death. Everything new is either low quality, AI, or songs heard years ago.
Garbage mixing, lazy verses, unfinished songs. Ye can do way better.
My goat is washed.
Now I tried to get through this whole project last night, and it's a very rough listen. In fact, it's so poorly made that it makes Lil Pump's Harvard Dropout look like a masterpiece.
The only one I added was 530. I like 530, chat. But I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those songs where the last minute was not necessary at all. Was not necessary at all. Like this sample at the beginning go hard as fuck. Baby, that shit's hard as fuck. But once it gets to here, the last was this 40 seconds of the track. Kanye just starts yapping.
And I know Kanye likes to do the thing where he basically starts putting out patch notes on his music, but no amount of remixing or adding or subtracting from these songs is going to make this a listenable experience, much less an enjoyable one. Now this has left even the biggest Kanye stans in shambles. It's kind of like when the Patriots lost Tom Brady and the fans didn't know what to do with themselves because they were so used to being the perennial favorite for damn near 2 decades. But now this alleged whistleblower has come forward.
Yeah, he definitely from Boston, chat. The Boston shirt and the Patriots reference. Yo, Jamari, bruh, where you at?
And it might shed some light on Kanye's very strange behavior over the last couple of years. Milo Yiannopoulos is the man who posted this information about Kanye. He is a very controversial political figure who I will say has historically not been the most trustworthy source. And he's definitely said some really strange shit in the past. Despite all of that, when Kanye was going through that arc where he wanted to run for president and was hanging out with the likes of Nick Fuentes and all that other weird shit that he was doing, well, during that time, Milo was apparently working for Kanye on this potential political campaign. And though that movement seems to have now lost all momentum, Kanye had hired Milo once again to be the chief of staff at Yeezy Apparel in April of this year, only for him to step down a month later over a disagreement with the direction of the company where Kanye now wanted to make adult films. Regardless of all of that, Milo
I forgot he wanted to do that.
Would take to Twitter to blow his alleged whistle on what's been going on with Kanye. There is a reason Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, is no longer capable of successfully releasing music or clothing. In fact, there are several reasons, but the most serious and the most recent is his dentist, Thomas Connolly. Connolly got Ye.
Hey, listen, man.
The most serious and the most recent is his dentist, Thomas Connolly.
I ain't trusting a dentist that looks like this. I'm sorry. A dentist that wears Cubans and got a cut like this? Nah, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. I don't know what Holly Weird's up to, but you do not look like you can operate a fucking machine.
Connolly got Ye hooked on nitrous, laughing gas. It is my belief that Connolly sought to diminish Ye's mental faculties so that Connolly and his business associates could extract millions of dollars from him. Earlier this year, I uncovered the fraud.
He said that guy ain't going nowhere near my mouth.
Yeah. Ye hooked on nitrous, blew up our relationship on purpose by proposing something that he knew I'd have to resign over, because I had told him so. The resurrection of his longtime idle fantasy of making corn. Thomas Connolly is a dangerous predator who targets African American celebrities into whose mouth he puts fake diamonds, as I suspect he did to little.
Is this a known thing?
Yachty. He must be stopped. I filed a complaint with the California Dental Board last week to that end. Milo would also share this video where he says that Kanye is off the laughing gas.
Ryan Garcia, this Ye, I'm on the nitrous.
And then he would later post this alleged affidavit, which is a written statement that is signed under oath to verify that the information in the document is true. Now here once again he calls out the dentist Thomas Connolly, accusing him of the unlawful supply of enormous quantities of nitrous gas to the wealthy, famous patient for explicit recreational use, the physical transportation of 4 surgical-sized canisters by Connolly himself into the patient's home on just one afternoon, charging more than $50,000 per month for this service, continuing to supply the gas long after the emergence of distressing symptoms that led to widespread comment and concern, instruction to the patient in the operation of nitrous gas canisters left by Connolly at the patient's home, knowingly encouraging their use in the absence of a qualified anesthesiast or medical professional by a person with a history of mental illness and addiction, the abandonment of
this dude is evil!
Said patient to the self-destructive consequences of said dependence, showing indifference or worse to the prospect of permanent damage in the brain and in the body by Connolly's negligence at best and malice with the intent to defraud at worst. Upon information and belief.
You know what's crazy, man? If there's one thing that really, really irks me, man, and I understand this shouldn't be the only profession that should be held to the standard, is when medical professions do some fuck shit, bro. That's some shit that really makes me lose a lot of faith in society. Like, for real, for real. Because regardless of whatever the fuck you do, the doctor is where you should go to for professional help. Everything should be fucking science-based. You know what I'm saying? When you go to the doctors, they are the one, I feel like, profession where I can just trust them with my life. That's literally what the fuck they get paid for. But when shit like this comes out and they break that trust, bro, that shit pisses me off, man. That shit pisses me the fuck off, bro. Cause literally, a doctor, regardless of whatever the fuck they do, should be the one thing a person can objectively trust. Objectively trust. And when they do shit like that shit pisses me off, bro.
The wrongful and fraudulent extraction of millions of dollars by Connolly and his business associates from a patient he knew to be confused, dependent, weakened, and in an addicted state. Testimony from Connolly's business partner that he has defrauded dozens of his athletes and celebrity client base by charging them for natural stone diamonds orthodontics, but in reality using cheap, lab-grown diamonds for as much as a 15,000% in price difference. Testimony from Connolly's business partner that he owes a debt of more than $2 million to the Mexican drug cartel, and that this cartel owns his surgical practice in Beverly Hills and uses it to launder money. Understand that this guy Thomas Connolly is known for being a celebrity dentist who has apparently done work for people like Shaq, Lil Yachty, Justin Jefferson, DaBaby, and many other celebrities.
If I had to credit, who are really the founders of my business, is that the brains are Post Malone and Odell Beckham Jr.
Never trust fully anyone as long as they're relying on you or your actions to make them as much money as possible. Not Shaq. Big facts, by the way.
And that's why they're partners.
This guy is basically putting diamonds and other fancy things in people's mouths. And obviously one of the other big accusations here is that he has taken lab-grown diamonds, presenting them as real to his clients, and then charging them as if they were naturally grown. For those of you that don't know, lab-grown diamonds are significantly cheaper than ones that grow on Earth, but with the human eye, they are nearly indistinguishable. And can I just acknowledge that this dude looks absolutely insane? Like, I'm not trusting anyone who has their hairline tattooed on. Basically, Milo claims...
Oh, that's a tattoo?
Insane. Like, I'm not trusting...
I thought that was a cut at first. Oh, hell no. He got the Fousey tat.
And anyone who has their hairline tattooed on. Basically, Milo claims here that Kanye started a relationship with this guy doing his teeth. He started giving him access to the laughing gas nitrous, and basically got him addicted to the point where Kanye would do anything to keep him in-house so he could have a steady supply of the laughing gas, no matter what the cost. And Milo claims that this guy, without any real experience in business, wanted to restructure the entire Yeezy company himself. With no experience in either music or fashion, and without examining a single document or interviewing a single member of staff, Connolly proposed widespread and disruptive changes to Yeezy's structure and operations, without even knowing what they were.
Yo, this dude is evil for real, bro.
Offered himself as the ideal candidate to lead the business and revivify the company's fortunes, although he knew nothing about the business and supplied no business plan or assessment of the company's financials, because he didn't know them. Connolly nonetheless insisted that he could not accept any less than $2.4 million a year in compensation. In his plan, he allegedly detailed that his primary goals were to build the drone, which was supposed to be some some sort of city in the Middle East. His next goal was allegedly to build the personal use N202 system, and then to build some sort of Yeezy car. I mean, if that is all true, that is just an absolute garbage
lock this
plan of
motherfucker up,
action.
man. God damn. God damn.
I did find this interview from last year where he sounds very intrigued by the idea of the personal use anesthesia.
I think a segue between the two worlds would be the local anesthesia route. There's no reason why tattoo artists aren't giving local anesthetic.
By April, employees at all levels of the company were worrying about Ye's dependence on the gas and speaking openly about it. Ye talked about it nonstop in meetings. He seemed to be in and out of the inhaler mask on a near constant basis, even posting a video message to MMA fighter Ryan Garcia on the subject. A division head with years of experience working closely with Ye confided to me that it was like speaking to an entirely different person. It was around that time that one of the junior staff confessed that he had seen Connolly hauling 4 large surgical tanks of nitrous oxide into Bianca Sensori's apartment, and that something had told him to take a couple of photographs.
If Bianca's complicit in this too, fuck Bianca, bruh.
Standing vendor told me, in apparent amazement, how casually Connolly talked about putting Ye under, understanding him to mean full anesthesia.
And also, if this is the shit fucking Kanye been doing over the last couple of years, listen, I understand that it may be out of Kanye's control. Something may not be right in the head, even prior to all of this. But thank God, North is not near Kanye right now. I'm sorry. Maybe that's a hot take, but this does not sound like a safe environment a preteen / kid should be around, bro. Hell no.
Anesthesia for no apparent medical purpose, as though it were a normal part of his everyday life. A bill was received and paid for over $61,000 by Yeezy solely for anesthesia and nitrous gas. Some sort of inside source also informed him that Connolly continues to collect fees of this size from Kanye, as well as flights and hotels in destinations such as Paris and Florence. And basically, prolonged use of this stuff can do some serious damage to not only your mind, but also your body. I was told over the telephone by a Yeezy employee who wished to remain anonymous that they directly witnessed DA self-administering the nitrous gas provided by Connolly. Most disturbingly of all, I learned that Connolly had moved into the apartment building Ye resided at during this period, at Ye's expense, giving Connolly's familiarity with rap.
Bro, he taking that shit like Temp V, bro. Oh my God.
Rap and hip-hop music stars, many of whom have been clients in the past. There can be no doubt that he was aware of Ye's psychological vulnerabilities. Milo would also go on to share a group message that was allegedly between him, Kanye, and this dentist, where the dentist allegedly speaks about wanting to build this personal nitrous machine. This needs to be...
You know what's crazy, Souls? I think this is how his mom died from anesthesia during a surgery. Damn.
A long-term goal, get recreational nitrous legalized, to which Milo posed these questions and concerns, and Kanye says allegedly, "Can I have nitrous today? Tom, you said you'd bring them by today. Checking in." Kanye's new chief of staff would actually respond to these claims, sort of, saying that Kanye is the healthiest and happiest he's been in a long...
You look young as fuck. Who is this? His chief of staff is 24 years old?
Claims, sort of, saying that Kanye is the healthiest and happiest he's been in a long time after taking a break from social media, and that the toxic people who used and abused him are now out of the picture. Milo also claims that when he was put in charge that he noticed that Kanye's company was burning money at a massive rate, and that most of it was going towards nothing productive. And he really does make it seem like several people here were taking Kanye for a free ride, leeching off his wealth and taking advantage of his trust and his bad mental health. Even claiming that someone named Paul Johnson had seized assets from Kanye, including Grammys, birth certificates of his children, and apparently even his mother's death certificate. I mean, obviously, guys, it's impossible to know how many of these claims can actually be substantiated. And this guy Milo is not known for being the most trustworthy source, but a lot of what he says here, at least to me, looks like it could possibly be legit. Especially given some of the interviews I've watched with this guy Tom Connolly, and how anxious he seems to further evolve the personal use of anesthesia and N202. I guess I'm just saying...
Hey, man. End of the day, stay in school, kids. There ain't nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, man. Nah, dead ass, man. I swear to God, I learned that more every single fucking day, bro. For real, for real. Stay in school. Nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. For real, for real. You do not have to be famous, man. You do not have to be famous. You do not. Now, mind you, that's not to say that not having a 9 to 5 doesn't put you in these situations. But I swear to God, like a lot of these situations just happen when you got a lot of money and power. Motherfuckers want to take advantage of you. And fame is like directly correlated to all of that. So
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some truth to these statements. Obviously, if this was a legit affidavit, he could be tried for perjury, and that would be a federal offense if he is lying. So he's really kind of putting his life on the line here. And that's not to even mention the Mexican cartel, which can obviously be extremely powerful. But I want to know what you guys think about all of this down below. I think it would definitely explain some of Kanye's more crazy behavior over the last couple of years. Did you listen to his new project? Did you think it was trash? Did you...
Nah. Hey, listen, man. I hope Kanye gets the help that he needs, man. For real, for real. Doesn't necessarily justify or make an excuse for a lot of the crazy shit that he said. But it definitely gives reasons, possibly. And if all of this is true, all of this is just sad as fuck, bro. All of this is just sad as fuck. Because we've legitimately seen this dude deteriorate in front of the public eye. Mentally. And I don't know, like that's a lot to go through, bro.